In the shadows of World War II, if you told someone that Japan and Germany would today be our fourth and fifth largest trading partners, someone would have thought you were crazy. Before Nixon's bold opening with China, no one could have imagined that today it would be our second largest trading partner. But that's exactly what's happened. 11 of our top 15 trading partners used to be the beneficiaries of U.S. foreign assistance. That's because our goal isn't to keep a nation dependent on us forever. It's precisely to create these markets, to open these opportunities, to establish rule of law. Our goal is to use assistance and development to help nations realize their own potential, develop their own ability to govern, and become our economic partners. Well, one of America's most incredible realities continues to be that we are a country without any permanent enemies. Now take Vietnam. I will never forget standing next to John McCain in the East Room of the White House. Each of us on either side of President Clinton as he announced the once unthinkable normalization of our relations with Vietnam. An effort that John McCain and I worked on for about 10 years to try to bring about. In the last decade, thanks in large part to the work of USAID, our exports to Vietnam increased by more than 700%. Every one of those percentage points are jobs here in America. And in the last 2 decades, 1,000 Vietnamese students and scholars have studied and taught in America through the Fulbright program, including the foreign minister of Vietnam, who I just talked to the other day, and who, believe me, has feelings about America because of that engagement. The list goes on. As the emerging middle class in India, the world's largest democracy, buys our products, that means jobs and income for our own middle class. As our traditional assistance to Brazil decreases, trade there is increasing. Brazil is one of the new tigers, growing at a double-digit pace. And it supports additional jobs here at home, many in the U.S. travel and tourism industry. You know, when Jefferson expanded our consular posts precisely to promote trade, he never could have imagined the importance today. Nor could he have predicted the number of Americans abroad that we help with their passports, with visas, with other problems that arise, or that we help offer to those who want to grow their families through adoption, or who find themselves in legal trouble or distress far from home, or the role our diplomats play, screening potential security threats and taking them off the radar screen before they ever reach your consciousness, potentially in the worst ways. Or that we create a new American job for every 65 visitors that we help to bring to our shores. So, my friends, we have to keep going. We can't afford the kind of delay and disruption that stands on the horizon in Washington. The exciting new trade negotiation that President Obama announced last week between the United States and the European Union will create the world's biggest bilateral deal when it comes to fruition, a transatlantic partnership that will match the scope and ambition of our Trans-Pacific partnership talks. But our work is far from over. 7 of the 10 fastest growing countries are on the African continent. And China, understanding that, is already investing more than we do there. 4 of the 5 biggest oil and natural gas discoveries happened off the coast of Mozambique last year alone. Developing economies are the epicenters of growth, and they are open for business, and the United States needs to be at that table. If we want a new list of assistance graduates, countries that used to take our aid, but now buy our exports, we can't afford to fold back. And if we're going to seize this budget crisis as the great opportunity that it can be, we can't shy away from telling this story to the American people, to your members of Congress, and to the world. But let me emphasize, jobs and trade are not the whole story, and nor should they be. The good work of the State Department, of USAID, is measured not only in the value of the dollar, but it's also measured in our deepest values. We value security and stability in other parts of the world, knowing that failed states are among our greatest security threats, and new partners are our greatest assets. The investments that we make support our efforts to counter terrorism and violent extremism wherever it flourishes, and we will continue to help countries provide their own security, use diplomacy where possible, and support those allies who take the fight to terrorists. And remember, well, I can't emphasize this enough. I'm looking at a soldier here in front of me with a ribbon on his chest. Deploying diplomats today is much cheaper than deploying troops tomorrow. We need to remember that.